everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Sacred Union energy update. It feels, look who's making himself known, the Emperor. It feels like it has been a while, the Lovers too. It feels like it has been a while since we've done a Sacred Union energy update. I was away on vacation last week. I had wanted to do one there, but I didn't have a very good internet connection. So we are back this week just checking in on the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. Now, I am experiencing a lot, a lot of integration, a lot of new anchoring in, and a lot of new information with regards to twin flame energy, with regards to sacred unions, with regards to divine counterparts. My own journey is continuing to unfold in really surprising and unexpected ways. I am hoping to put it all together in a new sacred channeling over on Susan Dawn Ascension Connection, so do make sure that you're subscribed there. I've been wanting to do an updated video for the past couple of weeks, but so much has happened or has been happening, and then I just, was on vacation, and then it just kind of gets away from me. And I think it's by divine design as well, because what's happening is there's so much that I have experienced since that last video, Journey's End Part 2, within my own connection. Energetically, I should say, a lot of visions, and then that's kind of spilling over into the 3D a little bit as well. I don't have the whole picture, still not being revealed to me. Things are still unfolding. It's still very interesting what is going on, but I will try to unravel it as best as I can, try to clarify it as best as I can for those of you who are continuing on your sacred journeys as well. It is, for a brief moment I thought about just completely pausing or giving up on not this business, but at least this aspect of this business, sacred unions and sacred partnerships. I wondered if this is what I was truly meant to be doing. I started this channel because of my own connection. I started this journey because I was activated to it. I never had any desire or plans to even do tarot readings. And I just kept following my heart and my inner guidance, and here we are nearly 5 years later. It's kind of astounding to me. I started wanting to do pick-up piles. I wanted to just kind of, help support people on their own spiritual journey, and sacred unions and messages about twin flames and divine counterparts just kept coming through until this is where I was led. Those early channelings were not information I had heard anywhere else. Especially when it comes to, the true purpose of divine counterparts. I do have a twin flame workshop that is going to be going live on Sunday, August 28th. So that is this coming Sunday. Make sure that you sign up for it. If I have less than a certain number of people, I am going to cancel the live stream and just do a channeling for it. That'll make it a little bit easier for me. But if you do sign up for it, then what I'll do is I'll just give you the replay at the, you'll just get the replay, and maybe I'll throw some extra goodies in there for you by way of thanks. So if you sign up for the live stream event, if we have a certain number of people, we'll go live with it. But if there's less than the desired number for a gathering like that, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have it as a recorded session. The live stream is discounted, so do make sure that you sign up for it. All the information is on my website, susandonspiritual.com. You'll get all the information there, but we'll kind of see how we go forward with that as far as how many people are signed up for it. I am intending on completing that. Because that is 5 years worth of information and channeling that is going to be in a digestible 3-hour format. It is everything I have learned about twin flames, sacred union, mission, karmic relationships, healing, everything about, this journey. It's going to be masculine, feminine, polarities. It's going to be everything that we have channeled. Whenever I say, go look at this video, go look at that video, all I'll have to do is point you to that workshop for those teachings, or you can sift through the playlist here. We have all of those teachings in the readings, but that information came out through this channeling. It came out through these readings, through this work. So I try my best to point to those videos when I can. It's not always easy, as we have hundreds of videos now, but I do my best to point you to those free resources. But I'm going to put it all in one digestible format in case you are new to the journey, or if you are new to diving deeper into the understanding of sacred union and twin flames, or divine counterparts, sacred partners. So that is going to be coming up. Where was I saying that? Oh, because I didn't expect it. I did not expect it. This journey just kind of led me here, and I had to open my heart to it and open my mind to it. And as you know, there was a little bit of a journey's end for me. What I've been reminded of is that the journey is not over. It's still unfolding. There was a phase of it, there was a part of it that really completed, that came to an end, that needed to come to an end. There was a version of myself that, in essence, ended. And because that version of myself ended, that version of my partnership ended. How that unfolds, again, still remains to be seen. It is still unfolding, but there is so much that is being experienced and revealed energetically and otherwise, that is just shedding new light on what's to come and what is happening. I don't have a completely clear understanding of that yet, but I am being shown more pieces and part of that bigger picture as well. I'm just going to pause that here, and I will talk about that in a sacred channeling coming up later this week. But it is a complete clearing of the twin flame grid as we knew it, of the twin flame journey as we knew it, where what I experienced was a vision wherein past lifetimes and future lifetimes all converged onto the present moment. And that's what we had been doing and clearing collectively, but it really came in as one great wave of energy, and the masculine energy anchored in within the root chakra. It was profound. It was powerful. It led to a lot of purging. It led to a lot of my own inner feminine energy really stepping up, and that doesn't always look pretty. In fact, sometimes it looks chaotic and wild, but there is a higher divine purpose to it, and I'm beginning to understand that as well. So that being said, I know it's a little bit cryptic. I will explain to the best of my ability, for those of you who are experiencing the same thing. I'll explain that in a new sacred channeling on the other channel. But let's take a look at see what's going on with the divine masculine and the divine feminine. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to use this deck here for, nope, this feels like divine feminine. All right, let's see what's going on between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. I'm going to start with the divine feminine tonight and see what's going on with her. I actually have had a couple of sessions with divine masculines. There are divine masculines who are really doing the work and doing the self-development, and it might look a little bit different than you divine feminines. But they are doing self-development, and they are doing self-work, and they are transforming and going deep within, doing the internal work. And I had a session today with a masculine energy, and it was really beautiful because I could see the transformation from a previous session. I could see the growth and the desire to better themselves, the desire to transform, the desire to make a change in their life, the desire to want for their life. I guess we're going to start with the divine masculine. What was interesting about this is in the past we had channeled that the divine masculine didn't know what it was like to experience that true happiness. And so they had held themselves back from it because all they had known previously in relationships and family dynamics and commitments and career was pain. And so they stepped into this toxic energy within themselves. And through this healing journey, especially as they open up to the feminine energy, they really begin to understand what their heart desires, and they allow themselves to really follow their heart's desire. And that's something that is new for the divine masculine, because previously they had denied themselves or avoided those emotions. They had in essence, run away from those emotions. They had run away from parts of themselves. Divine feminines, you had experienced this in other ways, because remember, you are divine reflections of each other. You're always showing each other your truth. You're always showing each other your actual soul of yourselves. There are no masks between divine counterparts, as best as you want to put up those masks or put up those walls. There are no masks between divine counterparts. And what you really do with each other is you show each other where the wound still is. You poke holes where the mask is. You show each other where the work still needs to be done. That is by design. You are showing each other where more love needs to come in to the equation, where more love needs to come in to the connection, where more love needs to come in to your own soul self. So it's interesting that we had channeled in the past that the divine masculine didn't know what to do with that happiness, but now they're really desiring it. Now they're really stepping forward towards it, even if they're afraid. What I'm hearing now is how important Leo season had been. The strength, the motivation, the courage that comes with that Leo energy, the lion energy, that Lyran energy, speaking of starseeds. And every reading we had done, the written readings, if you guys check out my community tab here on my YouTube channel, or make sure that you're following me on Facebook or Instagram, because I have a ton of written channelings as well, almost every day. And what was really coming through was that Leo energy, even up until now. Now with Virgo season here, we are grounding that. We are applying more of a practical energy to it. But more of a steadfastness is what they're saying, more of a balance to it. But that Leo energy really sparked a change within the self, where it was like, especially for the divine masculines, really motivating, really giving you the strength to step forward. And I feel like that's going to be part of the process and progress as we continue on throughout the rest of the year. So let's see, where's the divine masculine right now? Where's the divine masculine right now? I feel like I'm going to be doing some more mini readings, so make sure that you do stay tuned, because I feel like there's so much that is shifting right now. For a while, it felt like things were not stagnant, but it really felt like we were unfolding so much. And it's almost like I was called to step back from readings for that very purpose, for us to find our own inner compass, for us to trust our own inner guidance rather than relying on outside resources, right? And it also feels like part of that purpose was because there is so much that is shifting. So I do feel like I'm going to be doing more readings and more updates, more mini readings that might not be full-fledged readings like this, but I feel like we're going to be checking in more with the divine masculine, especially because there is so much that is shifting for them, with the divine feminines as well. But there feels like I'm getting the words ease and flow for the divine feminines, where you might struggle, where you might come up against yourself a little bit, where you might face some, it doesn't feel like challenges, it just feels like more integration and more activations. There's also more of a balance and a calmness. And I feel like that's because the masculine energy is really working on themselves and shifting the energy. Because it's almost like there's no superiority, there's no hierarchy, one doesn't supersede the other. When you really are in divine union and connection, you understand this. It is the king and the queen, and the king is not above the queen. The queen holds as much power as the king. They are equal partnership. They are in equal balance. It's the yin and the yang, two parts to one whole, right? So when I say that, it feels almost like the divine feminine had been almost like a little bit of a step ahead, because she had been through her ascension process at a very accelerated rate. Divine masculines are catching up because they're doing it double time, which means a little bit double the difficulty. Not double the difficulty, but it feels difficult because they're doing it so rapidly. Divine feminines, you thought that you did it quickly. You thought you did your ascension journey quickly. Divine masculines, I can't snap my fingers today. There you go. Divine masculines are doing it like double time. And not only that, but they are experiencing it in the physical without that kind of higher level guidance that you kind of had. You had that higher picture. You had that bigger picture. Even if you didn't understand it, you were receiving downloads and insight and awareness. And you also had your soul tribe that was supporting you. That's beginning to happen for the divine masculine. They are calling in their soul tribe and experiencing more soul family members. And they are trusting that guidance that they're receiving more where they had been receiving, they might have thought that they were receiving guidance, but that was all from ego. That was all spiritual ego that was kind of speaking to them. They were doing this journey from the place of intellect. What's shifting is the crown is opening, so they're really learning to follow their heart and trust their heart, because they're opening up to the feminine energy, the divine feminine energy, having healed the distorted feminine presence that was in their life previously from maybe mother figures or sisters or other romantic relationships or connections that were in very distorted feminine energy. They hadn't experienced feminine energy before, like this, like you, divine feminines. And so you really opened up that feminine energy within them. You opened them up to their own inner union, their balance of masculine and feminine energy, where they had suppressed the emotion, they had suppressed the feminine energy within them. So now they're learning how to rise as the divine masculine, which honors that feminine energy, which cherishes the feminine energy, which is devoted and longing for and calling for the divine feminine energy within their life and even in connection. And so before, they had really suppressed that and not allowed that, and they had held themselves back from basically all of it. So this healing that they're experiencing is just kind of like tenfold. There's so much that is happening for them all at once. They're receiving that insight, they're receiving more understanding, but it's not just from the intellectual part of a spiritual journey. It is understanding it from the heart, understanding from the intuition, understanding it from the soul's perspective. And the more they open up to that, the more they trust in that, the more they are opening up and trusting in you, divine feminine, because that is your energy. That is your energy that is speaking to them. And they're beginning to understand that, integrate that, and trust that. It's just the ego that holds them back from that. Just like you, divine feminine, have had to learn how to feel safe and secure within your own masculine energy, within your own ability to hold that space for yourself, rather than needing an external masculine or an external person to validate you, rather than needing an external person to hold that space for you, rather than needing an external person to provide for you. You recognize that you're able to do all those things yourself. And so it's your inner masculine that became the container. And as you're doing that, you're trusting in your own masculine more, which is your counterpart. So do you see how this works? You're healing the energies within yourself, which is your own inner union. They're healing the energies within themselves, which is their own inner union. But as you do that, that's when you come into partnership together, because you are one and have always been one. Your inner masculine is your masculine embodied. Their inner feminine is you embodied. There's a massive layer of trust that is beginning to come through. And that comes through, they're saying, with forgiveness. It comes through with more self-love and more self-honoring. And the more you do that, the more you're able to see that reflected in your counterpart, who is reflecting back the parts of you that have healed. Okay, wow, that was a little bit unexpected. I feel like I haven't channeled in a while. It's really weird. Okay, so let's see what is going on for the divine masculines. Current energy for the divine masculines. That's just a taste of what we'll go into in the workshop. All right. What is going on for the divine masculines? Current energy for the divine masculines, please. You know what? I feel I'm going to use a different deck. I'm going to use not this one and not this one. I'm going to use this one. Because I just keep seeing the Lover's card in this deck in my mind. And as you guys, if you've been on the channel with me for a while, you know it's one of the most powerful images when it comes to this journey. It is the masculine that is holding up the divine feminine. I'm going to show you guys before I start shuffling. It is the masculine protecting, honoring, loving, cherishing, respecting the divine feminine. He sees her for her power. He sees her for her beauty, for her gifts, for her wildness. He loves her for every aspect. She is the wilderness. What they're reminding me of is I was away in upstate New York last week, and I went to visit a waterfall with a friend, and my friend was like, that reminds me of like the feminine energy to the waterfall. She was saying about the waterfall, it reminds her of the feminine energy. And I'm like, holy shit, you're absolutely right. I said, this is masculine and feminine energy being displayed in nature. Because what it was the water was the free flow of feminine energy, but the gorge, the rocks was the container. If there was no container, no structure, no discipline, no space to be held, then the water would just flow everywhere. It would cause a flood, right? But the wilderness, the wild energy of that water, the free flow of that water, contained in such a magical, beautiful, protective, and honoring container, was able to produce this waterfall, which is powerful and strong and majestic. And that's what happens when the divine masculine and the divine feminine work together. It's this energy right here. Look at the energy that pours down to both of them. There's no hierarchy here. Energy's pouring down to both of them. Love, magic, majesty is pouring down through both of them. The divine masculine, in his strength, in his power, in his divine masculine energy, is lifting the divine feminine up. This is uplifting. This is honoring. This is cherishing. This is devotion. The divine feminine is then able to receive and give to the divine masculine. It's a beautiful energy exchange of love, of partnership, and of magic here, where the love, the strength, the magic increases through the love and the honoring that you have of each other. My favorite card in all of tarot, this one right here. Favorite image, favorite card. It just speaks so profoundly to the power that you as a divine couple have. Just have to clear the way for it. Just have to clear out all that soul sludge and everything that says, I'm not worthy of it. All right, speaking of, let's use this deck. I know I keep switching decks, but the energy just feels very... It's very fast moving. It's very transformational right now. I wouldn't be surprised. All my readings are meant to be timeless. You take them when they resonate for you. I wouldn't be surprised if we do an update tomorrow, because this energy feels really, really fast moving, really shifting. All right, tell me about the divine masculine currently, please. Tell me what's going on for the divine masculine currently. Page of Pentacles. Nine of Swords and the Ten of Wands. I'm going to take these two together and get one more. What's going on for the divine masculine, please? And the Seven of Swords. Okay. So I feel like the divine masculine, I feel like this is going to shift. I feel like they might be experiencing this now, in this now moment, but I feel like tomorrow it could shift. I feel like there's like a tower moment. It doesn't feel like a tower is in like an upset or a shakedown. It just feels like a breakthrough. It feels like they're on the verge of a breakthrough. The Page of Pentacles, what they're showing me with this peacock here is breaking through a sense of pride. It's like there's a new beginning where they had been holding themselves back out of pride, out of a sense of ego, could be even spiritual ego where they were not aware of it. Just a sense of pride and stubbornness and resistance. I feel like they're breaking through it and breaking through to new grounds. This Page of Pentacles feels a little bit more grounded and stable than perhaps they've been feeling in the past. And what I like about this, it's like a return to innocence, breaking through the pride, breaking through the patterns to return to a sense of innocence, breaking through and ending this anxiety that they were feeling. I feel like very emotional. This divine masculine could be going through something that has been very emotional. It could be asking them to be vulnerable, where they could have been experiencing something very vulnerable, very emotional, that has them in their minds, that has them really thinking. But what that's doing is it's ending a cycle. It's ending a version of themselves where they were carrying the burden of pride, where they were carrying the burden of stubbornness, where they were carrying the burden of resistance. This is the energy of surrender, where they had been sabotaging or deceiving themselves or in self-destructive energy. They're really breaking through this. There's a transformation that is about to take place if it's not happening right now. We're going to continue with the divine masculine right now. I don't feel the divine feminine energy. I feel like this might be a divine masculine reading as a whole. Tell me more about the divine masculine. We're going to stick with them. What's going on with the divine masculine? It's almost like what I'm getting is they thought that they could get away with being the old version of themselves. They thought that they were fooling their divine feminine. They thought that they were fooling themselves, but the emotion got to them. The emotion broke them open. Divine feminine, staying in her power, staying in her strength and her loving energy, really opened up the divine masculine for this breakthrough. I'm feeling a stubborn, resistant energy, almost like, I don't want it. I don't want it because you're saying it's true. There's this level of, doesn't feel like mistrust of the divine feminine. It feels like pride. It feels like I don't want it to be true because you're saying it. It's just pride. It's just ego. When the divine masculine really begins to trust and honor the divine feminine and see that she is only helping and supporting and loving him through his journey, he's going to just open up and his entire life and being is going to change. But I feel like that's what's been really, what he's been really in resistance to. It's almost like that ego thought, I don't need to change. I don't want to change. I don't need to grow. I don't want to grow. I don't need to transform because I'm already on my path. I know where I'm going. And sometimes the universe says, that's your ego that had it planned out. But it's your soul that really knows the way. It's your soul that's really guiding you. And once you surrender to that, then it just allows you to open back up. Divine Feminines, you've been through this too. I just started the reading by saying how I had no plans on doing this. I had a set idea for what I wanted to do with my life. Had no plans of doing this. But I had to allow myself to open up my heart, open up my mind. My divine counterpart is actually the one who helped me open up my mind in such a way that I was able to surrender and just go with the flow of life rather than having a strict and rigid plan. And what evolved was just so much love and blessings and gratitude for the journey, where the journey took me. But I was not interested in following that path to begin with. So it's very interesting that what the Divine Feminine had experienced, the Divine Masculine is now experiencing. Okay, tell me more about the Divine Masculine right now. Strength. There's that Leo energy that keeps coming through. A long time ago, I had channeled that the Strength card is this energy of taming the ego. And that's really what I'm feeling coming through here. It's the strength to overcome oneself or who one thought they were. I'm going to, because I'm getting guided to, this is a very unorthodox reading right now. I mean, maybe not so unorthodox to some other things that I've done on the channel. But I'm going to read to you guys two messages that I had gotten in case you hadn't seen it before, but we're just bear with me, or you can skip through this part. As we leave Leo season behind and begin to enter Virgo season, we carry with us its strength, tenacity, and motivation, but with a more balanced, grounded, and practical approach. The past few weeks brought a healing energy. Anything of a lower vibration has been and continues to be burned away in the flames of purification. The way this is experienced can be different for all, but if anything in your physical world feels a little chaotic, know that there's a great opportunity for expansion into a new way of being. In fact, opportunity seems to be the energy for this reading, as whatever is being experienced now is creating an open gateway for a new beginning that will bring growth in joy, happiness, and abundance. Allow yourself to step out of the old version of yourself. the idea you had of yourself and even of others, and look at situations, life, or your own journey with fresh eyes. There might be dueling perspectives or even an internal battle of mind and heart being experienced. You're being asked to look through the lens or through the higher lens of love in order to create balance and oneness within. Okay, and then yesterday we had channeled even more. It seemed, if there seems like there is disaster and chaos, if things feel scattered, distracted, and even destructive, you're picking up the pieces and creating something beautiful from it. The universe is reminding you that it's always supporting you, even if you don't know the pieces are all coming together. This is a reminder of your co-creatorship. Get creative with how you weave these pieces of your life, connection, or situation together. Believe in the power of your magic. Okay. This feels like the tower energy we were channeling a couple of readings ago, where there was a catalyst that felt like an ending, or at least a destruction of the old in order to show you how rocky the foundation actually was. For some, this was ego, ambition, or an old version of self that you were trying to hold on to. However, the only true foundation is heart-centered love, and anything not in that state isn't sustainable in the long run. That tower moment moved you further along on your soul's true path that you may have resisted or been unable to surrender or trust in the past. The old felt too familiar and comforting. That's what we were getting here, where you were kind of avoiding or sabotaging or in self-deceptive energy because you were holding on to an old version of who you were. It's almost like this inner child was holding a temper tantrum and saying, no, this is my path, this is where I'm going, this is who I am. But the soul understands a higher perspective, and the soul is always guiding you to your higher path that maybe the ego doesn't understand, or maybe the mind doesn't understand. And this is what is transforming for the Divine Masculine. They are beginning to understand and follow their soul's truth versus what they might have thought or planned out in their mind. Now you're on a journey of self-discovery that is leading you to personal fulfillment. And then I talk about divine counterparts together. This is this energy here. There is a significant shift that came in with this Leo energy, especially with the Lion's Gate, that was bringing through new courage and new strength to transform oneself by seeing oneself. By which I mean by really looking at your reflection, really looking at who you are, who you were, who you are, and who you want to be. You create that shift. This Divine Masculine is really desiring that shift and finding the strength in order to overcome their pride, overcome their ego, overcome their nightmares, their fears, their past, lay down their burdens, and open up to a new way of being, a new way of living, and even especially a new way of loving. Tell me more about the Divine Masculines, please. Ten of Pentacles, they are opening up like the treasure chest within themselves. As they open up their hearts, they open up and see there is so much value. There is so much love. And what I'm hearing is they're recognizing, oh, Divine Feminine, this is how you've always seen me. This is how you've always loved me. They're really allowing themselves to receive that because they're opening up to, hey, I am worthy. Hey, I am valuable. Hey, I am lovable. They're beginning to really love themselves, not from an egotistical way, but from a very heart-centered and soul-centered way. Divine Feminines, you don't always have to love everything that your Divine Masculine does. With regards to behaviors or actions, you know, that's where you can challenge each other. That's where you can grow together. That's where you can communicate and collaborate. But Divine Feminine has always seen the Divine Masculine in their divinity. She has always seen the Divine Masculine as worthy and valuable and loving. There may have been problems and issues between you two because you're triggering each other, because maybe one or both of you at different points were in your place of insecurity or lack. You're overcoming that lack within yourself with self-love. And because you're doing that, Divine Masculines, you are opening up to the treasure within. Really seeing yourself as worthy and valuable. Again, not from a place of ego. That's where you have to be aware of that pride, be aware of that spiritual ego. But from a place of honoring and valuing yourself. And only then, when you honor and value yourself, can you truly love, honor, and value your partner. What else? Oh my gosh. What else is going on for the divine masculines? The Ace of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. Empty out before you receive is what I'm getting. Empty out before you receive. So they are on the precipice of a new path. Remember when I was just talking about paths where they're like, no, I have to go this way, I have to do this. And that can play out in a number of different ways in the 3D. It could be a career path that they thought they had to take. It could be a family life that they thought they had to adhere to. It could be a romantic connection that they thought they had to follow or not. They thought that they had their life planned out in a certain way, or they thought they had to be a certain something. And they're realizing that there is a middle way that their soul is trying to guide them to, has always been trying to guide them to. They were just in avoidance, denial, and resistance of that. So with the Two of Wands here, it's like they are seeing the light now. They are seeing where their soul is guiding them. It doesn't have to be either or. It can be walking the middle way. It can be just honoring what their soul is guiding them to do, because otherwise they were just in resistance to themselves. But first they have to empty out. They have to let go of the old version of themselves in order to welcome in the new. I feel like this Ace of Pentacles, this new beginning, this abundance is waiting for them. And this is not just tangible abundance. This is emotional abundance. This is happiness, fulfillment, love, honor. And we keep using that word, interestingly enough, but that's the energy here. It's the sense of value of oneself, recognizing the truth of oneself, the soul of oneself. It doesn't have anything to do with how much money you make or what career you have. It just means, who are you? Are you living in your integrity? Are you living your truth? Are you living your highest potential? Are you embodying your highest self and recognizing yourself as love? The more that they are doing that, the more they are turning the tide and shifting this. I feel like this is like a Wheel of Fortune kind of energy. Before, they were just getting themselves hung up on old energy, old ways of being, old beliefs, old thoughts. Even saying, I don't have a belief, is a belief. It's just a pattern that continues. It's just a program that runs based on an old trauma, based on an old way of being or operating. And so they have to empty out all of, you see these coins that are kind of spilling? They have to empty out all of those old versions of themselves, all those old beliefs that they were running and repeating in order to welcome in this new. All right. Anything else? All right, where is the Divine Masculine headed? Where's the Divine Masculine headed? Where's the Divine Masculine headed? Where's the Divine Masculine headed? There's that Wheel of Fortune and the Four of Wands. Oh my gosh. They are headed to commitment, stability, and love. Security and love. Stability and love. Commitment and love. Recognizing that commitment is not something to be afraid of or run from. It is closeness. It is connection. It is love between one another. And that is turning the wheel of their life in a different direction. In a direction that they might have been scared to experience before because they didn't allow themselves to dream of that. They didn't allow themselves to believe in that. They were holding themselves back from so much, or because of so much pain or past patterns, perhaps in relationship before, perhaps in connection before, perhaps in family life before. But now they're recognizing that they are creators of their own destiny, that they are creators of their own reality, that they get to write their book, their happily ever after. But they are the ones that have to create that for themselves. They're the ones that have to find the strength to come towards that. And look who's making himself known again, the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. This Emperor takes the lead. This Emperor takes action. This Emperor finds the strength to take courage. It's King Arthur energy. King Arthur was pure divine masculine energy, pure conscious masculine energy. He was a leader who was a leader and authority from a place of consciousness, from a place of mindfulness, and from a place of soul-centered love for his people, for his family, for himself, connected to the divine. That's this conscious masculine energy. Taking action not from a place of control, not from a place of corruption, but from a place of leadership, stepping up as they're called to step up. Really, really interesting. Okay, let's move this over here and just get a little bit of the divine feminine now. See what's going on with the divine feminine. All right, Spirit, current energies for the divine feminine, the sun. Temperance. I'm hearing a specific phrase. And Knight of Swords. I'm hearing a phrase, healing, hope, and happiness. Where divine feminine had felt maybe a lack within herself. No, it's not a lack. It's a dejection, maybe even a sense of defeat. She is healing that energy within herself to allow herself to have hope, to have faith, not necessarily hope, but have faith and have this feeling of happiness and joy within her. It's the healing of the pain. It's the healing of the cycles. It's allowing herself to express herself without fear, allowing herself to step forward in her true authenticity and integrity, which is what this Knight of Swords is representing here. She is really balancing out herself, stepping into her empowerment, stepping into her place of magic, recognizing the magic within herself, and recognizing that she herself is joy, she herself is happiness, that it's not an external resource that provides that to her, that she provides that for herself. It's her kind of claiming that for herself. And the more that she claims that for herself, the more it enhances those connections and those external things. But she herself is joy. I feel like my grammar is not correct there, but that's how I'm channeling it. She herself is the embodiment of love and joy, and she's allowing herself to be the embodiment of love and joy. Now, that's not to say divine feminine energy is very wild. Again, she can be very free-flowing in her emotions, so she might experience, a lot of emotions. She might experience a lot of intensity, but she always comes back to the energy, to that truth of herself as soul, as love, joy, and happiness within herself. Clearing out a lot of the pain. Clearing out a lot of the pain patterns. Okay, 7 of Wands. Where she had felt guarded. This is really calling to past life energy, where she felt like she was defending herself against others, where she was suppressing herself in order to survive, in essence, because it felt like she might have been attacked. It felt like she had to be in this defensive stance. She's allowing herself to step through that new doorway where all of this doesn't exist. It might still exist, but she at least is not paying as much attention to. She's saying, you know what? I'm going to live in my truth. I'm going to live in my joy. I'm going to live in my highest energy, and this isn't going to bother me anymore. I love that the Sun, the happiest card in the deck, is starting her reading because it's like a reminder for her of who she is and what she can always come back to. She might have some trouble coming back to that because she has been programmed for so long to be in that energy of pain, to be in that energy of suppression. But this is her birthright. That happiness, that joy is her birthright. I'll call to that. Okay. Tell me more about the divine feminine. Knight of Wands. This, I feel like, is her stepping forward for her life, taking action for her life. She might even become more divinely inspired with regards to ideas, with regards to projects. This feels like divine interaction, divine inspiration that she is taking action on for her life. Tell me more about the divine feminine's current energy, please. Page of Cups. Tell me about this Page of Cups. This feels different. Page of Cups and Page of Swords. This feels like there could be a connection that is at the beginning stages. It could be somebody that she knew. It could be a past energy that is coming back, but it feels very new. I feel like it feels new again. So this could be somebody that you've never met. That could be like a past life connection, or this could be somebody that you had a relationship or a connection with that's coming back around again, but it feels very new. It feels like it's at the beginning again. It feels like it's a fresh start. With the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords, it feels like there is, I know pages aren't necessarily offerings, but they are communication. It feels like some kind of offering of love, some kind of offering of emotion, some kind of offering of expression and communication. It feels like, you know, when you first meet somebody and you first start interacting, communicating, and dating, that's what it feels like. It's that kind of newness. It's that kind of beauty of getting to know each other. That's what this energy feels like. Tell me more about this. Six of Cups, yeah. Reunion energy. This is somebody that you either knew in a past life or that's coming back around again. But what I love about this, it's almost like the inner child. It's like you're both meeting each other. And how do I say this? It's what I'm seeing is the inner child of both counterparts interacting in a way that your adult selves almost can't. There's a sense of innocence here. There's a sense of play here. There's a sense of lightheartedness. Again, I'm drawn to that energy of when you first start communicating with somebody or interacting with somebody, how it's beautiful, how you can't wait to message them in the morning or call them at night, where you can't wait to talk to them or see them. That kind of excitement, that's the energy that I'm really feeling here. It's that newness. It's that beginning energy again. It's that really playful and fun energy. Something is starting here for the divine feminine. Whether this is your counterpart or not, I'm not quite sure. Everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, but there is a connection that is coming in here. And what I love about the Queen of Wands is you're in your power. You are fully embodying your strength and your power, and that fire within you, that feminine fire within you. It just feels so good. And it's like you're not attracting less than the king or queen, if you're, depends on gender, doesn't matter here, we're talking about energy. You're not attracting less than your counterpart, because you're standing in your highest energy as the queen, being a divine feminine. So I don't know, it just feels really, really beautiful. This energy feels beautiful. So tell me more. Justice. This is the balance. I'm hearing divine justice, because you have put in your work. You have allowed yourself to go through the deep inner healing, the internal work. You have allowed yourself to grow and expand, and in many essences, not only heal, but remember who you are. And because of that, there's a balancing out that is happening internally that's going to be reflected in connection going forward. Interesting. Really interesting. Beautiful. And I love that the sun is showing up here in this card as well, because this is indicating happiness, harmony, and balance within that happiness that is your birthright. What's to come for the divine feminines? What's to come for the divine feminines? New beginning. That's exactly what I was feeling with this page energy. You've closed the door on an old energy. You've closed the door on a version of yourself that was an old energy, and you're beginning a new cycle for yourself because you're in a new version, a new frequency, a new consciousness within yourself, and that's beginning a new cycle in your physical world. This is a new beginning here, and especially a new beginning in some kind of connection. What's beginning here, or what's to come for the divine feminine? What's to come for the divine? Here, I'm going to take this. 10 of Wands and the Death. It's because of this transformation. You might still be in the process of letting go of something, letting go of the past, letting go of heavy burdens, letting go of some kind of pain. You might still be in this transition or transformation of this ending, but this new beginning has already taken root. They're actually showing that beginning had already, the seeds of that beginning had already been planted. And so you might still be going through the cycle of transformation. You might still be going through the cycle of that ending, but that new beginning is beginning to sprout. That new beginning is beginning to grow. Allow yourself to let go where you need to let go. There it is. I knew that card was going to come out in this reading. The Lovers. This is what is being transformed, this connection, where you are meeting somebody who can meet you, meeting somebody who is honoring you and seeing you in your divine light, just as you see them in your divine light, who is lifting you up, so to speak. That energy of recognizing your divinity, you recognize theirs, and together you grow in your magic and you lift each other up. This isn't one person doing all the work. That's the uneven, unbalanced energy that you had experienced before. And by you allowing yourself to set those boundaries, by you allowing yourself to step up in your life and honoring yourself, that's where you're claiming this. Because you're saying, I know what I deserve. I know what I am worthy of. I know what I want in a partner. That's where that balance is coming in. So this isn't one person doing all the work and doing all the heavy lifting. This is both of you honoring each other in equal partnership, coming towards each other, connecting with each other, not against each other, but for each other, for the connection. That's the difference here. That is what's transforming. That is what is changing. Ten of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck as well, making itself known. I can't say whether this is this person here. This is going to be a conscious divine masculine that the feminine is inviting in. If this is a masculine who has been doing the work, then yes, that is what you're calling in. That is that reunion energy. But take it as it resonates for you, because this that I'm reading here is transforming into somebody who is a conscious divine masculine, who is honoring the feminine, who is equal match and equal partnership. Maybe finding themselves worthy of that for the first time ever. But the desires have to match as well. The desire to come towards each other and connect with each other in vulnerable states, in closeness, in intimacy has to be there as well. I feel like there's so much that's shifting right now as I'm looking at these cards, as I'm getting this energy. There's so much that is shifting right now, and it's still unfolding. So like I said, we're going to be doing some more readings. I feel like we're going to complete this here. But we're going to do some more mini readings going forward. I just wanted to do a brief check-in, and honestly, this is blowing me away. There's a major shift that is taking place. It's almost like my own ego mind is like, is it true? Because we've been on this journey for so long. Is it possible? Is it true? And as a reader, I just have to bring forth the messages that I'm getting and the energy that I'm getting. As somebody who's going through this spiritual journey, who has experienced her own ego, who has experienced her own doubts, it's very emotional for me, because I want to believe my own work. I want to believe my own work. I want to believe what I channel. I want to trust in this journey. The physical experience has been extremely difficult when navigating all of this, when trusting and having faith in all of this. But I wouldn't be a channel. I wouldn't be receiving this if it wasn't valid, if it wasn't real. And so that's where I have to do my work and put my ego aside and have faith and trust and just surrender to this unfolding. When I say that I'm right there with you guys, I mean it. I am right there with you guys experiencing this as well. It is, my ego is a little bit afraid to believe in all of this, in the beauty of this, but in the possibility of this for everything that I've experienced in the past. But that's where I have to choose the energy of love and trust that that love overcomes that doubt and that fear of the past. All right, you guys, I hope that this reading was helpful to you. We are going to come back with the sacred channeling and some mini readings later this week. Make sure that you're checking out the community tab here on my YouTube channel, as well as the Instagram or Facebook post, because I'm constantly posting updates there. I'm not always able to recap everything here, but this feels like, everything that we've been experiencing and everything that is transforming. So make sure that you're catching up on everything to follow along on the journey. I'm sending you so much love and so much light, and we'll see you next time. Bye.